Jeremiah Batchian, the conference director for the Bar and Restaurant Group. I'm joined today by Damon Wayans Jr. and Kris Jones. They were due to be our fireside keynote speakers at our conference this year, and then it got Corona. So just like all of our plans this year, we're focusing on how do we kind of change our approach to business. And so before we kind of jump into that, Damon, do you want to give a quick rundown of special guests and what you guys have kind of built here and designed?
Right. Well, like I was telling you before, I'm a stand-up comedian, so I've always had a deep respect and admiration for live entertainment, whether they be concerts or stand-up comedians, anything where people are interacting with an entertainer in person. And that's kind of where special guest, that was the genesis of special guest, was I wanted to create a platform that allowed entertainers to make it easier for entertainers to get paid to do what they love and for people to be entertained. And so we created Special Guest, Kris and I, which allows anyone, anywhere to hire talent on demand, live entertainment on demand. And so that's kind of what Special Guest is. It's literally what Special Guest is. And, unfortunately, due to Corona, our nation's situation right now, we have decided to adjust to it, because people can't meet up in person right now. Mm-hmm. So we've incorporated a virtual component to the app. So now people can hire virtual entertainment, live entertainment, anytime, anywhere.
Yeah. Kris, you recently wrote an op-ed for our publication talking about this radical innovation that your company went through. Mm-hmm. How did you guys change the company? How did you do it so quickly? And what are some of the results you're seeing from it?
So, I think part of the agility was that we, Damon and I have built a great team. Our lead head of product, Tom Sennett, and the team have done a great job. But, candidly, one of our primary constituents that we serve are bars, restaurants, and clubs. And because of the mandated closures, we sort of were caught in this situation where we wanted to still serve them. We wanted to serve our talent, importantly, because we knew they were going to be out of jobs. And so we came up with this idea of live, private, virtual entertainment. And so it's been used. First off, the technology is super simple. Anyone could go to specialguestapp.com or download our app on iOS or Android. It's very, very easy to use, very easy to discover available talent for hire across all types of categories, from music to comedy to dance to magic to impersonation. There's a lot of options, tens of thousands of performers. But the idea was, how could we really create an opportunity for talent to make money, and for some of our other constituents like the bars and the restaurants and others to be able to leverage that talent to create engagement with their audiences, even though they were closed. How do we create an opportunity for them to continue to communicate with their patrons? And so we launched this going back now to about mid to late March. So we were pretty quick. We put the technology together in about 10 days. And every week since, we've just continued to take feedback from our users and improve it. As recently as this week, we've added additional layers in there to make it easier for the talent and the hosts to connect and to create this experience.
Yeah, that's a great response. And Damon, you kind of mentioned earlier that it's a labor of love in the restaurant business too, and you have so many performers on your platform that just love to entertain. And so what are some ways that bars and restaurants and these performers that got sidelined can kind of work together to, as Kris was saying, continue to communicate with their patrons and kind of, attract their regulars to have a little sense of a place of community, even though it's virtual?
I think I'll let Kris answer that one.
The best way to answer this one, I think, is with an actual real life example. So one of the venues that uses the platform to discover and book live entertainment, it's a place called the Canning House. And the Canning House was pretty quick to respond with takeout and with food delivery. In fact, it was really impressive to watch this happen. So they reached out to us and they said, what could special guest do to help us promote that? And they also wanted to promote another idea, which was really compelling, which was to raise money for charity at the same time. So they've been every single week hiring performers from special guest to perform live on their Facebook page, which then they repurpose and they share it on Instagram and Twitter, etc. And during that performance, which is usually 30 minutes to 60 minutes, the canning house indirectly is promoting their delivery, their takeout, and they're raising money for a great cause, something called the Keystone Mission, which is emergency food relief. And so, there have been examples like that Damon and I have had the privilege of being able to support through special guest.
And sorry.
No, go ahead.
To piggyback off that's the beauty of what special guest is doing now virtually, is that it's customized entertainment, right? So it's not like a Netflix or a television show that's just already made for you to enjoy. You can actually interact with these people and with these entertainers and kind of tell them what you need and your wants. So you get situations like what Kris was bringing up.
Yeah, that's a great point, Damon. I think people are so tired of Netflix and news. They're looking for something else. And so, there's your Eagles Cup. The NFL draft set record numbers. People are just so excited.
Thank God sports coming back, right?
Yeah, right. So, Damon, I heard one of your interviews earlier this week. You were talking about a 15-year-old that kind of used it for her. Was it a birthday party or happy hour? What are some cool, unique stories that you're seeing of people booking that, an on-premise location can think about to, use as well?
Well, I think, selfishly, stand-up comedians are doing really well with the app right now because people need to laugh. People are they're getting antsy. They're crawling. They're cabin fever. So there's nothing better than a good laugh. So there's a bunch of comedians on our app that are very talented who are doing very well with with this unique situation that we're in, and finding all the funny things to kind of poke fun at, because this is a shared experience. We all can relate to this experience. It's very unique in that way that, anybody anywhere can relate to being stuck in the house right now and not being able to do anything.
Yeah.
One of the things I wanted to share, if you don't mind, is, this was unexpected. I never heard of a virtual happy hour. That's kind of why I have my Eagles Cup. I thought for those that are watching this, either live or later on, it's around, I'm on the East Coast right now, and it's around the time that you'd have a happy hour. But anyway, this came out of nowhere, started trending on Twitter, and a lot of our clients, a lot of our bars, restaurants, clubs, and just people from all over the world started to coordinate these virtual happy hours because they were getting more accustomed to using Zoom, and it was just a thing that was created. And what's really been interesting is as weeks have gone by, there's been greater adoption of those users trying to just enhance that experience, right? They want to have the virtual happy hours, but they don't want to just sit around for 30 minutes and talk about the coronavirus. So they do their cheers, and then towards the end is what we recommend, 15-minute to a 30-minute stand-up comedy set, maybe a live music performance where you come in, the musician performs 2 or 3 songs that the host that booked the musician selects, and then that musician interacts with those people in attendance in the Zoom call or Skype call or whatever they're using. And so this past week, and I'm not sure if you'll be able to share any of the footage or whatnot that we shared with you, but there's been just some amazing experiences where corporation, used, they booked Miss Marilyn Monroe, who's, the U.S.'s #1 Marilyn Monroe impersonator. She came into a Zoom call and interacted with them, saying, "Diamonds are a girl's best friend" and stuff like that. So, it's as creative as people want to get with it, but the amazing impact of all this is that it creates an opportunity for these talent to make a little bit of side hustle, a little bit of money on the side. It enhances the experience of the Zoom call or the interactor, the virtual experience. And I will tell you, some of the comic sets I've sat through, some of the music and other types of performances have just, it's absolutely astonishing. So for whoever's watching and listening, rates start as low as $25, and it goes up from there. You have thousands and thousands of different choices in terms of who you could book, and just allow it to sit right beside what would be a virtual experience on like Zoom or on Hangout or one of these other things. And I think anybody that's watching will really enjoy the experience, because the user experience and the feedback that we've been getting is really, really far, surpasses expectations.
Absolutely. And with so many programs now and states allowing cocktails to go or alcohol to go, they can't be in your premise kind of filling the bar. So set up these virtual happy hours, set up that comedy set, that makes it interesting, that makes it new. I mean, the comedy set is gold, because a lot of musicians right now are available, but the comedy side is so needed, as you mentioned, Damon. Who doesn't want to laugh right now and kind of be taken away from this? So last question for you guys. One positive or good feel story that you guys heard or have seen this past week. I love to kind of wrap up on a positive note, because we're all in this together. It will end. We will turn to the side, but sometimes people need a little reminding that, hey, it's going to be all right.
I'll share the one that really has been kind of moving for our team. About 10 days ago, a nursing home manager, somebody who manages like the HR at a nursing home, reached out and booked. Again, this is surprising, but she wanted to book a caricature artist to draw her nursing staff, who were just overwhelmed with the amount of hours that they were putting in, and she just wanted to give back. And I'm not sure if she saw, Damon or someone, us in the news or whatever, but she found special guest, and she was able to create a really sort of impactful experience for her nurses. And so the use of special guest is really limitless. Remember that there's a social impact here. It's helping, to talented people get, earn a little bit of an income right now during this tough time. And we're all quarantined, right? We're all in this together. So this creates an opportunity for people to kind of break away from the monotony that we're all experiencing. So.
Absolutely. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much. We really appreciate the time. Good luck with, building up this platform. We're happy to share any great examples. Please send them our way, and we'll happily share that with our bar and restaurant owners, so they can kind of replicate that and do it for their own audiences. So be safe and take care.
Appreciate you, Jeremiah. Thank you, man.
See ya.
All right. Bye-bye.